Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to be latency testing the Runcam Racer 3 camera. Now this is a micro camera. It's not a mini and it's not the Xt60 size camera. It's a micro, which is the smallest, and they do provide you an adapter to switch it to the Xt1177 type camera, so that's something really nice. Now before proceeding on, I need to let you know something. We will not have any video footage, and we will not go over the menu of this in this video. It'll be in the upcoming days. The weather is clearing up and I'll be taking out all these cameras, but we will talk about some of its features here. So let's go ahead and get started before testing its latency. Now this is obviously, they're calling it the Racer. Now I don't know why they're calling it Racer. I'm really hoping because it's low latency. So I'm hoping anywhere between 1 to 5 milliseconds of latency, but we'll see that in a bit. So right out of the box, this thing has a pretty nice feature here. So it does have an OSD to tell your battery voltage, just in case you had something with no OSD, like a flight controller with no OSD, you can have your battery voltage displayed through here. It does have a VBAT plus port right there, which can, obviously, you put your positive of your battery and it gives you your battery voltage. Now, there's also something pretty nice, which you could switch between two control modes. You can either have it be controlled via the the remote or via UART through the Betaflight OSD. And in order to do that, once you boot it up, it'll let you know which mode you are in. And if we take a closer look at the menu here, you see joystick control mode, which means that it'll need that external joystick that controls the OSD. Now, if you wanted to control it through the OSD, the Betaflight OSD to be exact, you would need to see UART CRTL or UART control, CTRL, sorry, UART control. And the way to achieve UART control is by default on joystick. So if you wanted this to always be on UART control, what you're going to have to do is they provide you with this little piece right here. So you would stick this board right in, just like so on this side, obviously when it's powered on, and you hold this button right here. There has a little button right here, and what that does is it short circuits those two last pins in order for you to switch between the control modes. Now once it's on UART, it'll always stay on UART mode, and if you're on joystick mode, it'll stay on joystick mode. Now I've also noticed something. They don't actually provide you with the hardware joystick in order to change the settings here, but they're all the same. So if you have one with a joystick, you can easily just plug it in right here. Now looking at the layout, it's just the default layout, default size. They haven't changed anything. The UART are the last two here, as you can tell right there. And also if we take a closer look, we see, I really like this, that they left the OSD option all the way to the right, because I really don't like it when the grounds are common. This just makes it a lot better here. So you just stick that in and then you're good to go. You can start modifying everything. So that's really cool. Now in this camera, they're not really providing much. This is all they're giving you right here. And obviously the instruction manual. Now also if you take a look at the instruction manual, UART control works with these types of firmwares. We have Betaflight 3.3 and above, Butterflight 3.4 or above, and CleanFlight 2.2 or above, and KissFlight RC36 or above. So keep that in mind if you are purchasing this and you're looking for UART control. So enough talking, let's plug it in and let's start testing this bad boy. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start taking our first samples. We're going to take both when the LED turns on and the LED turns off. Now the camera's inside a box with an LED. When it turns on, which is this bottom line here, as you can tell, when it goes down, it goes off. When it goes up, the LED's on. And up top is the video signal coming in from the Runcam Racer here. So we're going to take our first sample with the LED turning on. And after we take a couple samples, then we're going to do it with the LED turning off, because sometimes the latency does increase when the LED turns off. And we'll also do something extra towards the end, which is possibly see the exposure time, how long it takes for it to settle down, because I've gotten a couple requests from people to test that. So let's go ahead and take our first sample here. And we're going to do it right now with the LED turning on. There we go. So as you can tell here, this was completely off, and the LED was off here. The LED turned on right there where that line went up, and the video signal here, that means off, 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 off. As you can tell, when it went full blast, that means the LED has turned on, or the camera has noticed that the LED went on. Now you might see these lines here. Now these lines here indicate this is the OSD information currently in each half a frame. So we would say the odd lines and the even lines, odd lines, even lines. So you can ignore these like really long parts here. And the middle parts here that you see, the empty ones, those are the, we can say the synchronization pulses, with the pre-equalization pulses, and all these types of things. This is just to prepare it and to resync the frame, or each half a frame here. So let's go ahead and measure the difference between the LED turning on and the camera actually seeing it up here. And we can do that just like this. And that is a 2.6 millisecond latency. That's very good. That's a very good sign right out of the box. Let's go ahead and take another sample here. All right, and we're gonna zoom in. Okay, now this is, if we could take a look here, this is the OSD information, and towards the end, right there was really nothing. So we can say it actually started to pick up around here, which is around, what is that? 2.3 milliseconds or so started to pick up. But then we had the pre-equalization pulses. So if you wanted to wait after that, because you would actually start seeing it around here, 4.7 milliseconds. That's amazing. That is very, that's really good actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and take another sample here. All right, we're gonna take just a higher definition sample here, a little bit better than before, with more resolution. There we go, that's better. All right, so we can see it started to notice right here, 2 milliseconds again. To fully notice is around 2.52 milliseconds. This is a really good camera. This is a really fast camera. And again, in terms of video quality, I can't really answer that. Again, same exact thing, 2.52 milliseconds. So let's go ahead and take another sample. All right, so here we got a little bit higher sample. What is that? 3.48 milliseconds. That's still really good. Anything below 10, 15 milliseconds is just amazing. Especially under the 5 millisecond zone, that's just absolutely beautiful. So it is a racing camera. Now I don't know in terms of how good it's going to be outside in terms of quality, but in terms of latency here, what I can tell, it's really fast, 2.4 milliseconds. That's really good. That means the sensor is catching. And what's really nice about this is a rolling shutter. So what that means is even if the frame has already started, it will catch within the frame. That's something really nice. That's why people are going towards CMOS more. Here around 2.92 milliseconds till it really noticed. And what do we have here? This is where it first actually saw something, which is around 2 milliseconds. So this latency is anywhere between, we can say 2 to, I think, let's just say 4. We'll give it the worst case. So 2 to 4 milliseconds, it doesn't matter really. Anything about under 5 milliseconds is just really fast. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and check out the LED turning off now. And there we go. So here we go. So as you can tell, the LED was on, and as you can tell, the signal was really high here. And this is where the LED turned off when that line went down. So we're gonna see where it actually noticed. So it noticed it right there, that the LED went off. And that is 4 milliseconds flush right here. So let's go ahead and take another sample. All right, and slightly more. I would say 4.08 milliseconds is still really good under that 5 millisecond golden zone. Again, let's do this a little bit faster here. Again, so now it's just doing it automatically every time the LED turns off. And then we could just go quickly through it. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty consistent on LED turning off like usual. Most cameras do see a latency increase when the LED is turning off. Here we had the pre-equalization pulses in the way, which was 4.68, and now back to 4. So unless the pre-equalization pulses get in our way, that would just increase it slightly. As you can tell, it's still 4 milliseconds there. We had the pre-equalization pulses here. 4 milliseconds, it's pretty flush. This is sample after samples being taken automatically currently. And as you can tell, it's lining up perfectly every single time. That's really nice. Really, really nice. Here, this is the OSD information, but actually you can tell where the red was at right there. So let's do the same kind of mode here, but with the LED turning on. Okay. There we go. All right. So what did this one say? Let's see. We'll go from here. It was 2.5, 2.4 milliseconds here. This is the LED turning on again. 2.56 milliseconds. What is this? 2.8. It's doing really good. It's a really fast camera. There isn't any weird hiccups. 2.48 milliseconds. In terms of latency, this is a great camera. I can tell you that right now. And around here, because that's after the OSD, 3 milliseconds. That was, I think, one of the highest. 3 milliseconds in terms of LED turning on. 2.4. It's just very consistent. We can sit here all day. Now let's take a look at the exposure. So I'm just going to drop this a little bit more like this. And we're going to take one sample here. And we're going to watch the exposure of the LED turning on. So let's just say the LED turned on and the whole screen went white, and we're waiting for the exposure to come down, which was right about here. It took 103 milliseconds. I don't know if that's good because this is the first time I'm actually testing this stuff, but it could be good. So this is when the exposure till it really like normalizes down, and it starts giving you more detail of everything, which is 103 milliseconds. We'll take another one with the LED turning on, and then we'll also take more when the LED is turning off, and just to see. This will be good for future reference once we also do this test on other cameras. Around 106 milliseconds or so to stabilize from full-blown darkness to full-blown just absolute light everywhere. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the LED turning off. So let's just set this up like so. About here. Come on. Alright. So the LED turning off and getting its exposure into place is actually, it's just 4 milliseconds. So that's really nice. Just when you expose it to a lot of sunlight, it takes 100 milliseconds. I don't know to what extent, but this is just, in a closed box currently. And just some people ask me to test it, and now you know. But overall, its latency is really good. The rolling shutter on there is just absolutely phenomenal. It catches it within half of a frame. Within half of a frame, which is pretty nice. And yeah, I guess in terms of latency, this is a good racer camera, but then we're gonna have to wait and see until how it performs outside, and that'll be upcoming in a later day. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure you check out the links down below. Those greatly support the channel, enable me to keep doing things like this. And if I helped you avoid or purchase a product, please use those links down below. You don't even have to purchase the same thing. And again, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace out.